Couldn't hear Scott. I still can't hear Scott.
Now I can
hear Scott. Now I can
hear
a
word
Scott said because the music was too loud.
Oh, good. I just wanted to say, back-to-back days. This is probably the two most enjoyable days of watching ball that I've had this entire year. Anyone else with me? It feels different. Kershaw's coming out of the bullpen. Barrios. I mean, that was more of an emergency situation with the Blue Jays. But you too, Kratz, you're enjoying watching all of this? It's got different vibes to it.
I can't get enough screens going. And then all of a sudden, it's like the only games left is like, oh, wait, the Mariners. Wait, I got to stay up and watch the Mariners clinch. I know they're blowing them out, so it's kind of like, all right, let's go. And then Cal hit a dinger, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then it just powered me through the whole night.
Once the last 2 days, 640 hits, it's on. It's difficult to keep up with all of them at once. I agree. We did have Astros A's playing late, although that wasn't close. And then the Dodgers game went until, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning, East Coast, something like that.
I can't make it that late.
You were doing well, though. It was the next day.
I gave up. Once I saw the Diamondbacks tie it, I went to sleep. And I'm like, I'll see how this ends in the morning. Because every other game was over. But once they tied it up and with the 8th, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I always look to see the timestamp. Like AJ sent Cal 60, which we're about to get into. And I'm like, okay, still up for this?
That was it. That was it.
You just wanted to make sure you got to 60, and then you're like, pillow. But don't worry. It carried the freight for the last hour and change for the Diamondbacks to allow the Mets to still have their little path to control their own destiny. But let's charge.
He's charging the mound.
For the first time since 2001, the Seattle Mariners take the American League West, and Cal Raleigh hit not one, but two. He's up to 60. I thought this was cool. Kratz, you pointed out how much the MVP odds have shifted too for Cal, but here's the celebration. Back-to-back bottle popping. Now, we've documented this. Players don't drink like they used to, but you do get back-to-back nights of this, and
it's pretty awesome.
It's fun, right?
Hey, the Rockies might have a chance tonight to win. Oh, wait.
I actually don't think they will.
I'm just saying, no, I mean, they have a chance because they're 2 nights in a row the Mariners popping, and then the Mariners don't know who they're pitching. And they're, it's not maybe a bullpen game. I don't know. But here's the thing. Like, if I've been saying this for months, Cal Raleigh should win the MVP. It's a historical year. I said months ago he was going to get to 60. You all laughed at me. He got to 60. And now what? Because he should still be the MVP. I know Judge's numbers are better across the board, but the position he plays, the first time they've won their division in 24 years, 60 home runs, most homers from a switch hitter, most homers from a catcher, by far. It's ridiculous. He should win this award. And I know people can make the argument, Judge's OPS and this and that, but Cal plays such an important role on this team as not only a catcher, but the leader. Listen, when they clinched the playoffs, who did they interview? They didn't interview Julio Rodriguez. They had Cal Raleigh on the field. That tells you everything you know about who they think their most valuable player is.
You also can speak to something that not many can, same with Kratz. Cal Raleigh plays the catcher position. The catcher position versus the outfield position. I don't think numbers do justice what the difference is. Look at the numbers for most catchers in baseball.
You can't quantify it.
Look at the offensive numbers for most catchers in baseball, and then look at Cal.
You can't quantify it. You can't quantify what Cal Raleigh does offensively, and let's not forget he won the Platinum Glove last year defensively. Platinum Glove.
Well, some people are like, well, not this year. His defense is very good still this year. Don't worry.
If he's not the best defensive catcher in baseball in the American League, who is?
I got to look at the framing metrics this year.
I don't care.
He's up there. He
can throw, he blocks, he plays every day, and he hits homers. Sounds like a great catcher to me.
And his pitching staff's really good. You do get some credit for calling a game, whether it's you're not throwing the pitch, I get it, but you get some credit for calling a good game, and he's led this team. But is it historic enough? To me, I think that's the question, because recent history says if it's a historic enough season, then he will win it. Then he will win the MVP. Because you go back to 22 and you look at Shohei's season, he had a better season than Aaron Judge. He was number 4 in Cy Young. He ended up being number 2 in MVP voting. And you would say he had a better season value-wise, but Judge was historic. So is Cal's historic enough to beat out Judge this year?
I don't think it's close. Because you have to decide Cal or Judge, and I think most people should just be deciding Cal, so I don't think the voting's going to be as close as people believe it will be. I don't. Judge has had an amazing season, but it's not Cal Raleigh. There are a lot of other factors, too. Some people are going to get after you, AJ, for saying, oh, well, they haven't won a division in a billion years, and they're going to say, I don't care. History doesn't matter.
Well, if it doesn't matter, then Cal Raleigh – if it doesn't matter, then it definitely matters. When Aaron Judge won the MVP, he broke the all-time home run record. If it didn't matter, maybe Shohei should have won it that year.
Well, they're saying the team performance shouldn't matter that they won the division.
It's
I'm like,
most
valuable player. Also,
valuable.
Also, I know that this could be a little bit out in left field, but some teams have not won much. And you can point to ownership, GMs, the player personnel, whatever. Do you believe that some ballparks make it more difficult to win? Like, Colorado's the extreme example, but for the last few years, we're like, the offense is brutal in Seattle for home and for the opponent, right? And then all of a sudden, here's Cal Raleigh saying, nah, we're good. 60 home runs in Seattle. That is a tough freaking park. It's maybe not the excuse it should be, but that's a tough park to hit home runs in. Seattle versus Yankee Stadium.
Agreed.
Come on.
Agreed. This shouldn't even be an argument. Listen, Aaron Judge is having a great year again.
Mm-hmm.
But this shouldn't be an argument. Historical year. Historical all-time year. That's it. That's the answer. This is a year we'll probably never see again ever from a catcher. Ever. He should be the MVP. He should win it. And I'm sorry. And Yankee fans come at me. I don't care because I'm right. And you are homers.
Homers. I mean, are we okay? Are we okay with the first ever MVP having a batting average this low?
Yeah.
Batting average doesn't matter anymore. They tell us all the time batting average doesn't matter. Since when does batting average matter?
The sport doesn't value it at all.
Exactly. Luis Ariz would be making $20 million a year if batting average mattered.
The sport does not give a crap about batting average. Talk to any front office.
Homers. They want homers. Guess who's leading the world in homers? Cal Raleigh.
Talk to any front office about batting average. What will they say? Huh? What's his batting average?
I don't know. What's the all-time OPS record for a catcher? For a season, for a full season? I mean, I don't know. But Cal Raleigh's got to be pretty close.
Well, I'm going to try to see if I can ask some AI that real quickly. But I'm sure Cal's up there. You want OPS or you want OPS plus?
OPS.
Okay.
OPS.
Looks like Piazza.
Yeah, I was going to say Piazza.
1070.
Okay.
Different era, and we're like, are we going to start doing those?
No, we're not going to start doing. I'm just asking because Cal's what 954.
Yeah. 959.
Okay.
172 OPS plus.
I mean,
for a catcher.
Now compare him to other catchers, much like Mike Piazza compared to other catchers. That's insanity numbers.
Yeah, and catcher's a dead spot for most teams.
Yes.
People are going to say, "Hey, Judge has a 213." That's great. It's great. Every other year,
behind the
he
plate
wins.
for 130 games, and let me know if he makes it. He ain't going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I know he's not a conditioned now and he's a different type of player, but he ain't going to make it. That's the difference to me. That's it.
125 RBIs for Cal. Cal's played a little more. Obviously, Judge missed a little bit of time.
Then their argument would be, would Cal have won a batting title if he played right field all year? Would he have had 70 homers had he played right field all year? That's going to be the other side of the argument.
Would Cal have 70 homers if he played in Yankee Stadium? How many homers in Safeco, whatever, T-Mobile, that went to the warning track, especially in right field, that would have been homers in Yankee Stadium? I mean, you can make arguments till you're blue in the face, but I'm sorry. This time, listen, I'm a Judge guy. I love Judge. I think Judge is one of the best players we've seen in a really long time. But for this 1 year, it's Cal Raleigh. That's it. I'm sorry.
And for the Mariners, the last time they won the American League West, I think it's worth showing the tweet there about what was popular in 2001.
The Mariners won 116 games.
You remember that team.
I played against that team a lot.
Nasty.
They whooped our ass.
That was Ichiro's rookie year, right?
Ichiro's rookie year. They had Brett Boone at second, Olaruda at first, Carlos Guillen at short. This is exactly. Shrek was coming out. I mean, Harry Potter movie.
Shrek was released in theaters. First Harry Potter movie was number 1. iPod,
iPod, the original, which I still have.
iPod.
I still have an original one. Looks
Wow.
just
I
like
still have
that.
mine too.
It wasn't out in 2001.
No.
Alicia Keys.
I'll tell
fallen.
you how crazy he was. So we all have a phone.
Yep.
We had the old flippy phone, right? That you played Snake on. Everyone played Snake. Remember Snake on the phone?
Oh, yeah.
So there was a game, and we were chasing down Cleveland that year in Minnesota. And Cleveland won the division. We didn't. And they played the Mariners. I think it was the Mariners. And the Mariners had like a crazy lead. It was like 10-1 or 12-0. And we were all watching on our phone, and we're like, oh, the Mariners are going to hold on. The Guardians came back, Indians at the time, came back and won. That game, we're like, oh, we're probably screwed. I think it was in like August. But that was the year that in Seattle on the Hit It Here, when it used to be the Hit It Here Cafe, they're like, we don't count Ks, we count sweeps, and they hung brooms because they won so many games. It was freaking stupid.
August 5th, 2001, Indians completed the largest comeback in MLB history. 12-run deficit against the Mariners, winning 15-14 in 11 innings. There was a 14-2 lead in that game.
Yeah, and we were sitting there on our phone going like this. Oh, all right, we're going to pick up a game because we were on a plane flying somewhere, and we were all watching on our phone like, yeah, we got a chance to pick up a game because we had already won. And then as we're watching it, we're like, no. And it was like the old flip phone that barely had internet, and you're like, oh, where do I hold the antenna? You had an antenna and everything.
You're holding it up
Yeah,
somewhere?
you're like, and everyone's looking at their phone like, no way, it's 14-10 or whatever. Like, no way.
Times have changed.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, for as well as Seattle has played, Kratz, the Houston Astros made it easy for them in this final week. They have completely crumbled right now, and they are probably out of a playoff spot. But the Mariners, I will definitely say, won the division. I know you guys like to say, did this team win or did this team collapse? Mariners won the division, but the Astros made it easy for them.
Part of the collapse was they swept the Mariners. I mean, they swept the Astros. They started this. They were like, hey, you know what? Oh, man, if we take 2 of 3, if the Astros take 2 of 3, it's just going to be same old Astros. They came into Houston. It wasn't at home. They came into Houston, and they said, screw it. We're going east of Spokane, and we're going to sweep a team. That, to me, that's an exclamation point. To me, the Mariners won it. I don't think the Astros lost it. They put the Astros on a skid.
Well, the Astros also lost it because they've got their asses whooped in Sacramento the last couple of days. Which, by the way, I was also watching this game. So the A's want no part of Sacramento, but they were selling shirts in green and gold that said Sacramento. So wait, I thought they didn't want to be known as Sacramento because Dallas Braden and what's the girl play-by-play name?
Oh, Jenny Kavner?
Jenny Kavner. We're holding them up like, look, we have these Sacramento A's shirts. Everyone buy them.
Dude.
And you're like, wait, but I thought they didn't want to go by Sacramento.
They're trying to pivot a little bit because Sacramento hasn't embraced them like they thought because they feel like an ugly stepchild. That's part of this.
No, but it was I was sitting here watching going like, wait, what are we
Think about it, dude. Yeah, if a team came here and they were like, Orlando, no Orlando anything. You get nothing. You'd be offended.
Of course.
That's exactly the story. It's that simple.
I agree.
People are pissed, and they're trying to wiggle their way back in because they have years left to go there. That's what I've heard.
They haven't really adopted Sacramento at all.
No. Dude, I hear individual human beings with conversations on the broadcast. That's all I'm going to say.
What's their average attendance? Under 10,000, right?
Yeah, under 10,000 for sure.
There was nobody at the game last night.
A few thousand probably at that game.
I mean, I don't know how many they had, but
yeah. I don't care what the announced number is. They sold season tickets early and then people aren't showing up. Astros didn't show up either. Exactly. A lot of
2 nights in a row. They got to win tonight. I mean, listen, it'll be in my lock. I'm taking them. They can't go there and get swept. There's got to be some Astro pride.
They can.
Pitching. There's got to be some Astro pride tonight.
Let's get to the Padres. Mike Shildt, Padres manager, joining us next on FT.
When you think Fair Harbor, you should think soft. You should think buttery liner. But it's not just the bathing suits or the shorts. It's also sweatshirts like the one that I'm wearing right now, Kratz. It is stupid soft.
It's ridiculous that a shirt that can, 1, keep you warm, 2, be so soft, and 3, so lightweight, like the collar, everything. You don't even feel like you actually have a hoodie on, but you do.
It is a lightweight hoodie. and it feels incredible. So you should go get one yourself. Also, for bathing suits, for shorts, for whatever clothes that you're interested in where you want to basically feel like you're not wearing them, but you are, that's what Fair Harbor can bring to the table. So head to fairharborclothing.com/foul20 and use code FOUL20 for 20% off your order. That's Fair Harbor, HARBOR, clothing.com/foul20 for 20% off your order, and make sure you use that promo code FOUL20.
Hey, Kyle Schwarvber has 23 home runs against the lefty this season. That's an MLB record.
Mm-hmm.
Most home runs for a lefty-lefty.
He's so good. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know Kratz watched the Phillies game last night, but I have the direct TV with the 8 screens, all of them going. Sosa hit the home run and they called it fan interference. I'm like, a fan can't interfere with the ball in Philly in left field unless they have the go-go gadget arms that are like 12 feet long, because there's a giant flower bed. And the umpire's like, fan interference. I'm like, it's impossible for there to be fan interference. I mean, literally, unless the guy had the longest arms of all time.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
I think they changed the flowers. I don't think they have the flowers there anymore.
There's still a bed there.
There's still a distance, yeah. But that was bad. That was poor depth perception. Must have been Scott Barry. He stopped doing the game in Toronto that he called that ball foul for George Springer with the bases loaded.
Oof. Phillies had a franchise record 8 homers. Sosa had 3.
They did a cool.
Yeah, right.
They did a cool post-game picture. They did a cool post-game picture with Otto Kemp, and then they did 2 Schwarbers. They put 2 Schwarbers next to each other, and then 3 Edmundo Sosas, and then Alec Bohm. Because they broke the record, they all took a picture. I forget who the 4 guys were. Boom.
By the way, the fact that the Marlins are still alive is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they're done, but yeah, mathematically, it's going to be one more day. Anybody, I think, that wins ahead of them. Yeah, they had a better year than a lot of teams. Braves are a better team than them. Whatever, we can get into that in the offseason. Hey, the Padres are going to the playoffs again. Mike Shildt, their manager, joining us right now on Foul Territory. Mike, great to have you on the show. And first off, congratulations. How pumped are you to bring this group to the postseason?
Oh, man, thanks, guys. Good to be here. We're pumped. We're excited. Back-to-back playoffs for the Padres, four out of the last 6 years. Good time to be a Padre.
I love it.
Shilty, have I'm just thinking, I was going to say move that water bottle. I know you're trying to hydrate after all the champagne.
He's got a water bottle deal.
Yeah, that's great. Just the cap, though, just the lid with no cap.
Yeah.
But I think this is right. You've never managed a losing team. Is that correct in your career? In the big leagues. In the big leagues. Now in the minor leagues.
Like a losing record, you're saying?
Yeah, like a losing record. Have you?
No, I've not.
Oh, I mean, that's something to hang your hat on right there. I mean, there's not a lot of managers in this game that can do it for as many years as you've done it. Never had a losing record. So what's your secret? So I can tell everybody.
Good players. I mean, let's don't pretend here. Let's don't kid ourselves, gentlemen.
That's good.
It's a good answer.
You need good players, and you found the right team for it with San Diego. So let me ask you about AJ Preller and how he's looked at by your team and your players, because I always think that players on a contender desperately want a sign from their front office that they care and that they're invested. And AJ clearly is that guy. He went nuts this past trade deadline. Do you see that? Like when you guys were popping bottles the other day, are they going up to him like, thanks for bringing me here, or thanks for believing in us and supplementing this?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, it's a privilege to work with AJ. It's hard to qualify who's the best general manager, who's the best anything in our industry. I wouldn't trade him for the world. It is so nice to work with a guy that competes and cares and works as hard as I do, or potentially even harder. He is all about winning, all about the Padres, and he's really brilliant. He's an amazing, and now this I could say with a lot of confidence, he is in the top 5 easily in the best evaluators of talent in the game of baseball, along with his staff. They're amazing. Amateur scouting, international scouting. Chris Kemp leads that. Professional scouting, Pete DeYoung. But AJ is not only a great evaluator and a really dedicated to winning, but also he's got some real cojones, man. He ain't afraid to pull the trigger, and he wants to win. And I love riding with him. We go back and forth, and we're both passionate guys, but there's nobody I'd rather ride with as GM. And to your last point, the players obviously appreciate that. You guys have been in clubhouses, know what that feels like. We knew our part was to get to the trade deadline and be in it, which we were. We fought, scratched, and clawed to overcome adversity, which most everybody does, but came on the good side, and then AJ stepped in. And so, yeah, there's guys that clearly love AJ, including myself in our clubhouse.
There was reports before about how he is so, he's involved with a lot of stuff. There's arguments. You just said it. Somebody that's competitive, somebody that is smart, and somebody that is driven, you're going to have arguments. What's the one thing that you guys butt heads about that also helps the team grow and improve, and you have those good quality arguments?
Yeah, it's healthy. We talk about this a lot amongst ourselves. Like you said, passionate, competitive, driven, greater good, conviction. But the real key to it is when that dust settles, first of all, he's our general manager, and, I tip my hat and, serve with the pleasure. But we walk out in lockstep, and that's the key to this thing. Whatever the decision's made, and he has the final hammer, we go and we ride together, and we make it the best decision possible. And you can't ask for much more than that, quite honestly.
Shildt, do you ever look at Preller? Because I appreciate all the praise that you're giving me when you're saying I'm the best evaluator. So you got to call him Preller, because my ego gets just too blown up when you just keep talking about it. Okay, so but do you ever look at Preller and just say, because I had never met him until last time I was in San Diego, and I had played for him when he was at the Rangers, and I'd never met him all the times I've been to San Diego. I met him, and do you ever look at him and say he just dresses like a 15-year-old skater boy, like off the street? Because he had the great. I'm looking at him going, I am so jealous. He was in shorts and a nice buttoned up, skater shirt with the top button, and his hair is a mess. And I'm like, this guy's living the life right here.
Yeah, he's living it, dude. He's just him. He's authentic. Who he is who he is. Not going to pretend to be anybody else. He's one of those dudes that has his own style that really, really works for him. If I try to look like a complete goober, but I'm not, I don't have any style to begin with, really. So, yeah, he's got some game that just kind of is natural, but he's got his own stick.
And he can shoot some hoops too, which everybody knows. If you ever went through the Padres system, they got the nice hoop in the back, even back in 2016 when I was there. What about Tatis? What about Fernando Tatis? Have you guys gotten any more answers about his sickness? Not the flu, not COVID, whatever it is. Is he going to be back? And when he's back, has he lost weight? Has he, been able to stay doing some baseball stuff?
Yeah, listen, he's just been sick, man. He's been, he's run down. He's been posting every day all season and getting after it. This guy plays really aggressively. I was going to say something probably wouldn't be appropriate, but yeah, he gets after it, and might have just gotten to the point where he got sick and worn down, and just for the alarmist out there, he's ultimately fine. He's feeling better today. As far as weight goes, we monitored him pretty closely. I think he's going to be fine. He's a guy that, can lose some weight but can put it on pretty quickly. He's really an amazing athlete and physically, as we all know. But, short answer to wrap it up is we expect him to be back tomorrow and be ready to rock and roll over the weekend and get ready into the playoffs.
How big of a loss is Ramon Liriano? Guy that you didn't even have before the trade deadline. And then what he did to come in not only against lefties, you started giving them at-bats against righties and really carried your team when the offense wasn't there. How big of a loss is that right now?
Yeah, it's a good point, because when we acquired him, I didn't know Ramon very well, and got to know him, and clearly a talent, having a great year. And as we, did the research on him, it's like, oh, this dude's like top 5 against righties. So he's not a splitty dude. Didn't feel like he needed to platoon him. Rewarded that. Great tough at bats against righties, lefties, doesn't matter. And is a grinder, tough dude, got a real edge to him, which I love, competitor. It's going to hurt. I mean, listen, again, as the lineup was starting to get back, and we really hadn't had a full lineup that, talking about Preller, his vision for it, my vision for it, which is typical. I mean, it doesn't, a lot of teams go with that. It's not complaining. It's just a fact. And we were about to get that band together and have him, in that 7-hole, which, man, that's a dangerous dude in that spot. But he's going to be out. He's going to be out for a while. How deep we go determines how likely he is to get back. Does it hurt? Yes. The one sign we have in our clubhouse is, winners find solutions, and we're going to be there to support Ramon and be there for him to help him get back. But no one's going to feel sorry for us, and we got a deep team, and we'll ride what we got, and we'll feel good about it.
You guys have had more injuries. I don't know if more than anybody, but you guys have had a ton of big injuries, and this is another one. The last 3 games, you have 3. You're pretty much locked in. I mean, I know you're saying we're still going to try and catch the Dodgers, but that's not unlikely. You're not going to catch the Cubs. It's probably unlikely. So you're kind of locked into the 5, which means you're going to go to Chicago. But these last 3 games against Arizona, are you just going to put everybody in bubble wrap and say, please, because you just got Bogarts back, Laureano goes down, Adam went down not long ago. Are you just going to try and put everybody in bubble wrap and just say, please, guys, just no more injuries because I can't handle anymore?
Dude, I think that's fair. In that sweet spot of like, we want to keep guys going, keep the momentum. You guys know this. You want to get the proper amount of rest, but you also need to get your, spikes in the dirt and keep them there and get your bats and keep going. We'll be smart about it. The pitching won't be completely scripted as an instructional league, but, we're going to be smart about how we set our relievers up for getting ready for Tuesday, either way, home or road. Darvish going to go tomorrow. We'll be, in touch with him about what he feels he needs for, moving forward into next week. And then the position players, very similar. I expect them to ride a couple games, and then we'll evaluate Sunday and see what that looks like. But, clearly people need to play with, the roster we have that, 9's got to get out there. So, but yeah, ultimately we want to get there. We want to make sure we're healthy and in the best shape we can. We have had some injuries that, and really the injuries have been, on the unusual side. Outside of Jackson's hamstring, there really hasn't been any injuries that have been, attrition related. There've been more, Jason was trying to catch a comebacker and, the quad blew and, Bogey falls the ball off his foot and Mariano gets hit by a pitch. Crony gets drilled in the ribs. Earlier Jackson got a concussion. And so anyway, you get it. It's part of it. And, but now we'll keep them bubble wrapped and get them ready to roll for Tuesday.
Talk about that scripted rotation. Talk about how you guys want to set up your rotation to win the wild card series. Do you have who's going to start game 1? And are there any surprises that you're like, hey, I got to have a conversation with this guy because we want him to move to the pen or maybe sit out the wild card series and that could hurt somebody's feelings?
Yeah, that's got a chance to be real. Decisions are still about to be made. We haven't announced our game 1 starter, but I don't think we need to, do too much detective work on that one. And then it's just a matter of, making sure we're in the right spot for games 2, thinking about a game 3 if necessary. There's 3. We got multiple starters that have pitched well for us. So there's going to be some discussions there. And the good news about our club is 2 things will happen when those discussions take place. One, guys will rightfully, potentially be disappointed and frustrated because they want to compete, which I love, that they care that much and want the moments. And then 2, they'll go and do what the role they need to do for the team because it's a very team-first oriented group. So, we'll have them ready and we'll go compete and get after it and take our shot.
With the bullpen that you have, talking about your rotation, how much are you as a staff saying, no, we're not scripting this, we're going to watch the game? Because Nick Pivetta has been giving you guys ridiculous innings and has gone out there and been dominant. But you have monsters in the pen and you have monsters lined up to just mow dudes down. Are you saying, all right, 4th inning, he gets 1 runner on in a 1-run game or 1 runner on, 3-run game, we're going right to our boys because you have weapons that you can go right to. How much are you scripting it and how much are you watching the actual game at hand and how they're seeing your pitchers, your starting rotation?
Yeah, great question. Not scripted, absolutely. I don't feel and believe in that. The script, the awareness really is where the best matchups are at certain points in the game, not only for the game at that moment, because as we all know, they're just moments in the game that you can feel that are, this is a big part of the game. This can sway the game one way or the other, and be ready for what those possibilities are, and then make the decision for who's the best to take care of that situation at that moment. So it's a balancing act. There's one of which that I'm going to look and see what's in front of us and see what we have. If as your example, Nick's commanding the baseball, throwing well, the matchups are still good, it's at a point in the game where it makes sense, yes, he's going to ride. That's for me, it's more common sense. There's no clear science to this. You take your best understanding of the situation and the big picture of the game relative to where it is, what inning that is, what you have relative to the rest of the game. And then you also clearly have an awareness that we have a back in the bullpen that's very talented. And, in a shorter series, the bullpen can come into play more. Guys can grab, we do have potentially 3 games in a row scenario, but, you're scratching and clawing to get 2, man. And you take down that first and you take it down. And, the guys have a chance to get extended a little bit more than they're used to. And you just you weigh it out. So you really see the game in front of you. You know where the inflection points are for the matchups. And then when you hit those spots, you read what the situation is, you make your decision and go from there.
All right, so it's going to be Pavetta, we know, and then game 1. We know that. Okay, but then you have your choice of Yu Darvish, who is 3-2 with a 2.36 against the Cubs. Dylan Cease is 4-2 with a 2.47 against the Cubs, and he used to be a Cub, so he hates the Cubs, like we all do. So we know that he wants to pitch against the Cubs. But then you have Michael King. So, you have some options. Would you think about bumping one of those guys, especially in the short series, to the bullpen and saying, hey, you're my length guy if we need it?
I think that'll be on the table. Again, we haven't finalized anything, but just the math tells you it's on the table with 2 games and 3 guys that we trust. And you mentioned that have had success there, pitching there. Obviously Darvish has, pitched years there. So, all that's on the table.
Okay. Yeah, Darvish also hates the Cubs because he played there. So we know anyone that played in Chicago that, everyone hates the Cubs, including you. Don't deny it because you're a Cardinal guy at heart. So you can deny it, but we know it's right. Okay? Exactly.
He's like, I'm not going
Silence
there.
says everything. It's okay. You can admit I admit it all the time. It's fine. All right, before I let you go, you got ejected last night for only the second time this year, so I'm proud of you. It's only your second one this year. But what is the average fine for a manager? Is it like $500, $250, $1,000? And is that why your apartment that you're in is, 1, it doesn't look like it's on the beach, and 2, it doesn't look like it has any furniture in it? So can we get someone to contribute, like maybe Manny throw you some money to get you some furniture?
All right. Well, I'm gonna first of all answer the question, and then I'll flip the screen, but the picture gets a little light because there is a water view. It's usually, it depends. It depends. Like, honestly, I think yesterday I'm looking at probably no fine. It was light, wasn't personal. My guess is, my hope actually is that it's, just, hey, man, it happened and see you later. The average fine's $1,000, and it goes to the bats, bats charity, which, again, it's good cause.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you're bad. Okay,
right,
then.
So, yeah.
Oh, I know where. You know what? I don't know why I said that because I know exactly where you live. You live in the same neighborhood as one of your announcers, and your name of your street is not near as cool as his name of his street.
Probably not.
I'm not going to say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. But do you
Yes,
have a
sir, I
mini
do.
yacht? Do you have a mini yacht like
Okay.
your announcer has?
No, I didn't. I do not have a mini yacht.
Okay.
We got to go deep in the playoffs for the boat.
Got to get that big playoff share.
If people that don't know, Don Orsillo has like a mini yacht.
Yeah.
That is like, it's like a 2-person little boat. He goes out in the backyard where Shildt just showed us, and he goes fishing. I said, dude, Don, we've worked together a lot of times. Can I not get invited on the mini yacht? And he's like, the weight limit is like 280 pounds. He's like, I think we'll sink the mini yacht.
Oh my gosh. It's a one. So it's a
It's
one.
a 1-person boat that he has.
Hey, we'll take it. Well,
Oh, man.
Mike probably has access to it in the offseason if he wants
Absolutely.
it. Exactly. Shildt, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Congrats again on making the postseason, and good luck. We'll be watching.
Appreciate it, guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, this was great.
Thanks,
Mike
Shildt.
Shildt, Padres manager on FT.
Kratz, at some point, we're going to laugh about how healthcare was so reactive and not proactive. And we're starting to change that with Superpower. They believe every human has 100+ year potential, and they're here to help you get there. I'm a big believer in this. I just started the journey, so I'm excited about it. And what do you think?
As a player, you're always looking ways to improve yourself, improve your health. And this is an easy way. Superpowers made it way easier than when I was playing. You had to go get all these lab panels, and it was a long, drawn-out, expensive process. But now with Superpower, so this is awesome for me. I'm excited about it.
They'll send a licensed professional to your home, or you can visit a nearby lab. For a limited time, the FT fam can get $50 off an annual Superpower membership by using code FOUL at checkout. Just head to superpower.com and use code FOUL to get our exclusive discount. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and please support FT and tell them we sent you.
We're going to do a deep dive on the National League wild card that nobody wants. But for 2 minutes here, the Dodgers bullpen is getting remade on the fly. Kershaw relief appearance first time since 2019. Roki Sasaki is back with a nice 99 piece on his fastball. They IL'd Kirby Yates. Robleski looked great closing out the game. They're going to be freaking fine.
As much as I said Suzuki's not going to be on the roster, I'm going to have to take that back after watching the pitch inning last night, because that might be his role going forward. That might be his role, because he actually could throw it over the plate. He only had to worry about one inning instead of trying to throw it over the plate for multiple innings.
He's a kid, too. He's still young. He's like 23, right?
Yeah, but still. But he was in Japan for a while. He threw it over the plate. But over here, he couldn't throw it over the plate, especially a split. He also got a nice call by one. I don't know who the home plate umpire was. He got a nice strikeout call on a ball.
Home plate umpire struggled. See the strike to
Dude, by the
Muncy?
way, if you ever watch the Diamondbacks, who started the guy? Gosh dang it! For the Diamondbacks, who started that game for the Diamondbacks? He
Ryan
pitched
Nelson.
really well. Ryan Nelson.
Yeah.
He threw a ball to Max Muncy that was like not even like close. It was like
Middle.
ball. And Brenly and them go, man, I hope that doesn't come back. And he ended up punching him out like on a curveball. But he literally threw one, I mean, right down the middle. Ball.
We tweeted on FT.
Oh.
We were like, when is ABS? That was bad. But anyway, the bullpen's going to look different, Kratz. It is.
And that's great. That's crazy for Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is going into a land unknown for him. Because normally he's just going right to the bullpen. Last year they leaned on it. Not this year. He's got to figure it out on the fly.
Better than box scores. Who wants the last wild card spot in the National League?
Nobody.
Who wants it?
Nobody.
You know who wants it? Paul
Marlins.
Skenes wants it as he played spoiler for the Pirates. Clayton Kershaw wants it as he filled in an inning for the Dodgers to help take down the Diamondbacks. The Cubs offense scored 10 on the Mets.
By the way, didn't you take the under?
No, I took the over. No sweat.
We said buy it up.
Oh my gosh, that was easy.
Jonah Tong did not look good at all.
You know what? He's a baby. He was not expected to do this.
But also, he's facing a veteran team that has now watched tape on him, and they took away his best pitch, which is his changeup, and he got Happ and second at bat he threw it again, and Happ Wally muffled it. But
and he wasn't locating one. I think it was the slider he wasn't locating. So it was like fastballs that they're hitting and the changeup right that they got rid of. They reached at one point, I think, 6 in a row. They knocked him out early.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the coolest moment in that game for me, then I kind of turned it off, there was like 7-0, was PCA hit the fly ball to right, and Ballesteros came running home and scored. How happy PCA was that he hit the sac fly and how happy his teammates were. That was like, that's what it's about when you get to this point. It's amazing how many times you watch these games, especially, oh my gosh, the Reds and the Pirates in extra innings. There's a runner on second and nobody out. And the Reds are tie game or whatever, and they can't. Their leadoff guy in the inning can't hit a ball to the right side. All they're doing is like, let's try and yank, dude. When all you got to do is get the guy to third and hopefully drive him in. It's just not there because it's not taught and it's not expected.
You watch. I could not look away at the train wreck of the Pirates and the Reds, Kratz.
Oh.
They ate up 4 hours of my life last night. And I was watching the other games on the side, but I was dialed in because, first of all, you had Skenes and Greene, and they both pitched well. Skenes beat him, though, and he was loving it, and so was Livy Dunn. 6 shutout innings, 7 Ks, 1.97 ERA, best in baseball this year. Cy Young Lockett's done. But both offenses are just a really tough watch, but it's actually enjoyable to watch because you're just like, every moment that he's talking about is not executed like a winning team.
No. The Reds, they get it. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Stevenson, he got up there. He was 4 for 4 at the time. He was like, I'm going to win this game. And then he punched out against Johan Ramirez. I think he's been on like 7 different teams because he didn't take the slider the other way or he chased out of the zone. Like, I give it to you that you watched that game because you got to watch what we love in baseball is a marquee starting pitching matchup, and it fit that bill. But you texted at the end, you go, I just wasted 4 hours of my day. Like, why did I take up a screen? They did not play well. Outside of Stevenson, like the inside the park homer was fun from Noel V. Marte. It was fun, but like wouldn't have happened if you played it correctly. You know, you didn't fall down at the wall. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz has been a roller coaster. He's gotten a little better, but he's not a center fielder this year that is on a first division team. It's work in progress.
Like the rest of the Pirates except for Skenes.
Yeah, and Nick York played a nasty second base. He made 2 insane diving plays. He saved the game at one point.
How about the ball where he threw it to first and the first baseman, I think Horowitz, fell on the bag, slipped, and then ate it, and he threw it, and he still caught it.
Barehand Horowitz on the bag. That was the game. That was the big play right there. I think that was Ellie.
Ellie smashed that ball.
And it's cool because I'm not watching every Reds game all year, obviously. And so they did a really nice job on the broadcast multiple times. They're like, biggest at bat of so-and-so's career because the Reds are usually not in it, right? So they're like,
Stevenson's homer was the biggest home run.
Easy.
Everyone had the biggest of their career last night for the Reds. It was
Ellie.
like every guy, the biggest hit, the biggest this, the big. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Bottom 8 last night. That was Ellie. They're like, this is the biggest at bat of the best player on the team's career right now. And Nick York made the play, yeah. But Horowitz stepping bare hand on the bag, making the catch. No, Kratz, whoa, misquoted. Not wasted. I'm just saying, I more wanted to point out, I'm watching Reds Pirates for 4 hours last night at the end of September.
You didn't think you'd be doing that.
Hell no. So I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was the most entertaining game because of the late innings. You're just seeing how things are not being executed correctly over and over again. A lot of issues on both sides.
Also, the Reds have a chance tonight they're in rain delay, but to play early and win and then put pressure on the Mets and the Diamondbacks. And they could have done it last night, and they could have done it the night before, and they haven't done anything. So they got Lodolo going against Ashcraft, right? They got to win. Whenever they get to start, they got to jump out early and put the pressure on the other teams.
What I do learn is there are some teams that I watch, and just going off recent history and most teams having pretty good offenses when they make it to the World Series, there are a lot of teams that are going to be able to cross off. Like the Reds, if they make the playoffs, maybe they steal around, but that offense is not winning a World Series this year. I talked about this with the Guardians the other day. As great as their pitching is, that offense is not getting through an entire tournament. So just throwing that out there.
A chance to win that game in the ninth and hit pop-ups too.
That's true. Although I like that offense better. That's a pretty good offense. Yeah. So let's talk about the Diamondbacks for a moment. They now are going to start Zach Gallen over the weekend against the Padres instead of an outing against Yamamoto. Bullpen game tonight instead. Is that the right call?
No, you got to win every game, dude.
So what are they doing?
You're just giving up a game? I don't know.
They only get one Gallen start, and I guess they're going to need one bullpen game start. In my mind, you're saying without saying it, we're throwing tonight. Like,
I mean, I would try to win, boom, 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 and then maybe Sunday if you needed to be like, all hands on deck, boys.
Also,
Like,
Gallen could save their bullpen
as
tonight. They pitched 11 innings last night. Not the whole bullpen, I'm saying, but like bullpen got used.
And there's no off day coming. Well, the off day at the end of the year.
I think it's a mistake. The team's playing well, too. They almost beat the Dodgers again, and now you're just going to say, let's wait on Gallen. Am I wrong here? We'll ask Bowden about this, too, when he comes on. But, Kratz, am I wrong on this one? What am I missing?
I don't know that you're 100% right. I don't know. There's got to be something that they're sitting there looking, okay, we need to get a more favorable matchup. I've always wondered this. Like a team that's terrible in your face, let's say you open the season up against Skenes. Why do you got to throw your number one against Skenes? Skenes clearly is going to have the better outing. Maybe you keep the team close, maybe you keep the game close, and you beat them after Skenes is out. I get that part of it, but why not switch it? I think some colleges do it. Friday night starter is usually your best starter, but what if you have two good starters and they face their Saturday and Sunday guys? Not saying you're kicking the first game, not saying you're kicking tonight's game, but you got to try to put your chips on the right spots and hope that it hits.
That's a 500 mentality at a time when the Reds need to either go probably 3-1 or 4-0 to win out.
The
Diamondbacks too. Diamondbacks too. Sorry.
Hunter Greene pitched well last night. I mean, he gave up 2.
But that's my point. You want Hunter Greene in that outing because then they ended up tying it up.
Yes,
He kept them in the game.
Chances to win the game. Same with the Diamondbacks. And just because Yamamoto's not going to pitch 9 innings tonight.
The Diamondbacks they hit the Dodgers always.
But he's not going to pitch. He might go 5, maybe 5, because they're going to get him ready for the wild card. It's on Tuesday. So why would you not try to hold the Dodgers down as best you can and then get to the bullpen? Because we all know how good the bullpen's been. Because guess who ain't coming out of the bullpen tonight? Kershaw ain't coming out of the bullpen tonight. Sasaki ain't coming out of the bullpen tonight because they haven't done back-to-back. So they're not. There's no way Dave Roberts is going to go to Kersh. Now, Kersh would probably say he'd throw, but he's not going to go to Kersh and say, Kersh, man, we need you to throw me an inning tonight. Sasaki, you've been hurt all year. Let's go back-to-backs right now. Like, no, it's not going to happen. This is if you're – I don't know. To me, this is a chance you worry about today, and tomorrow's for another day. You got to try to win every game because you're not in a spot where you can afford to lose any games. You have to try to win every game.
I think it's a perfect topic for Jim Bowden. He's ready to go, joining us next. Front Office Unfiltered. We'll see what he would do in Arizona's place next.
Kratz, let's talk about Omaha Steaks, and it's not just steaks. It's chicken wings. It's smash burgers. Big deli-style franks. There are a number of categories that you can hit all in one place. They've been doing it for a long time. They're the best in the biz. And if you got a good filet, life's good, man.
But you got to finish every meal with some delectable desserts, too. They have those, too, to go along with these delicious steaks.
Apple caramel tarts on the list, among many other menu items to check out. Be the hero that orders Omaha Steaks and is the most popular person in your household. So get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event and for an extra $35 off. Yeah, $35 off on top of that. Use promo code FOUL at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. See site for details.
So the Rockies have the worst run differential of the modern era by far, and they're going to finish with it that way. I found another one, too, that I thought was even crazier. Kyle Bodie, who's one of the Driveline guys, tweeted that last time he checked, and this is true, they looked it up, they have a team negative Fangraphs WAR. So he said theoretically that means the team's worse than a full team of freely available minimum salary AAA players, according to front offices and how they evaluate.
I don't think that's.
I'm just telling you that's what the numbers say.
That's why WAR is kind of dumb at times because I mean, come on. If these guys weren't that, I mean, I know they're the Rockies, but they're not worse than the White Sox were last year. And run differential doesn't matter, Scott.
Maybe they are worse.
They're not, though, according to their record.
Her fault. But yeah, you
That's
have
true.
you
What
have
you said.
you have
They had the
history.
worst manager in maybe history. Sorry about it. They did.
But I mean, to break this is a dubious record. And why the heck wasn't I putting more run lines on the against the Rockies?
They caught up. In the beginning of the year, it was a cash cow, but it did catch up. Where eventually you had to do to even get close to even money, you had to do 2.5.
Yeah.
Which then starts to get tough.
Dicey, yeah.
Quick pop quiz with like 30 seconds to go, and then we're going to come back and talk to Bowden. Just for everyone watching at home, who's the Rockies manager right now?
Schaefer.
I think most people don't know the answer. I know you know.
Warren Schaefer.
Yes, you guys are on a baseball show, but I think most people watching at home will be like, wait, oh no.
Mickey Moniak's had a good year too.
Has he, though?
That's right.
We're fired up all day today. Natural caffeine boost. Now even more so with that sweatshirt from our front office unfiltered star, our resident GM, Jim Bowden, joining us right now with the FT sweatshirt. JB, great to have you on. Perfect day for it. We got some Reds and Nats topics too, which we'll get to. But I want to start with the hot topic of the day. How do you treat these last several days if you're a team fighting for every single game in the National League wildcard? Example A, the Arizona Diamondbacks opting for a bullpen game instead of Zach Gallen, who will instead pitch over the weekend. Your thoughts on a mini punt?
Yeah, so as soon as I heard that happen, I picked up the phone and called Mike Hazen, the general manager of the Diamondbacks, to ask him what the thinking was behind it. This is what he told me. He said they were going to have a bullpen game either today or Saturday. And in talking with the manager, the pitching coach, Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez, they decided that the best route for them was to go with a bullpen game today. That would allow them to push Gallen and Rodriguez each back a day, give them each an extra day since, look, you're in the end of September, you got a lot of innings on. Pitched a lot, as you know, since the All-Star break. And so they felt like they have a better chance of winning the most games by doing the bullpen game tonight against the Dodgers and then having their starting pitchers fresh for the weekend. And so that was their thinking behind it. And it makes sense to me. It does. So, again, I don't know how Gallen feels. I don't know how Rodriguez feels. But I know one thing. If they're all talking to them and they feel they're better off pushing them back a day, why not do the bullpen day today instead of the reasoning?
I mean, that makes sense and all. But now, let's say they do get into the postseason somehow. Then it pushes Gallen back to game 2 at the first, Rodriguez to game 3. Who pitches game 1? Ryan Nelson, Brandon Pfaadt? I mean, there's multiple things to think about other than just, hey, yeah, it's cool, but they got to win every game. So why would, as a player, I'm like, man, we want to play our best pitcher today and then our next best pitcher the next day. And then if we get to Sunday and we're still alive, screw it, everybody's available.
Well, Gallen can still pitch game 1, though, right? So pushing him back a day doesn't affect that, to your point.
No.
But
if he pitches Tuesday, he can't pitch game 1. He can't pitch game 1 if he pitches Friday, because then you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday it starts. So he needs till Wednesday.
It depends how he feels, though. You could go on 3 days rest if that's what you needed to do.
There's a long history of that being awful.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a discussion. I get it. But I will tell you that when I've been in those positions before as a GM, I wanted to get there. And I wasn't going to sit there and try to plan for the first postseason series, because if I don't get there, it doesn't matter. So all I care about is until we clinch and that champagne is popped and that beer is being poured over people's heads, I'm going to do everything I can to win the most games I can until I get there. And that's how I see it. I mean, it's like Toronto. They're going to have a big decision possibly on Sunday, right? If they need to win Sunday in the division, do you start Kevin Gausman and then lose him for the first 2 wildcard games? I mean, that's going to be a tough decision then. But that's going to be different because they're going to get in either way. So it's a little bit different decision. But with Arizona right now, you're not in the playoffs today. You have to catch the Mets. You got to make finish ahead of the Reds. And so to me, I just need to care about the next 4 games. What is the best way for me to win all 4 if I can? And this was their decision, and I support that.
Okay, so you brought that up. Now, I know we're talking about Arizona, but let's go real quick to Skubal. Skubal's lined up to pitch Sunday. If you're tied with the Guardians, knowing the Guardians have the tiebreaker, the last game of the year, do you pitch Skubal or do you save him for game 1? Knowing you're already in the postseason, do you save him for game 1 or do you try to win the division and get the home games?
Yeah, I think in Detroit's case, I need to save him for game 1. I think Detroit's case, I don't trust anybody except Skubal. So I'm trying to win with one starting pitcher. So if I know I'm in the playoffs, then Skubal's pitching game 1 of the playoffs because that gives me the best chance of winning the wild card series.
Okay, that's fair. That's where we had that argument the other day. My question to you, they were just playing the Diamondbacks. We were just talking about the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers. Have you ever seen the end of the season unfold like this in a manner of the fact that they were playing in postseason last year with the bullpen? They have so many questions now. They're going to their deep rotation to fill in their bullpen.
Yeah, that's their only chance. Over. I am surprised, I guess, just looking at it from the outside, I'm surprised they didn't put Emmett Sheehan back in the bullpen earlier. Surprised they didn't put Kershaw back there earlier. Surprised they didn't give more consideration to using Ohtani out of the bullpen and going with Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow with Ohtani in the pen. Like, I think when you looked at this team down the stretch, it's very clear the bullpen problems are real. They're not going to be fixed in October. Your only way of fixing it is taking your great 6-man rotation, taking 2 of them and putting them in the back. And so, yeah, this is something I've been watching because I thought when we got to the last 10 days of the season, the Dodgers were going to make at least one dramatic move with one of their 4 best starters to fix that bullpen, and they haven't done it. And so it sounds like they're going to go Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Snell as their first 3 starters with Glasnow game 4, it sounds like. I'm not so sure they wouldn't be better off, in my opinion, putting one of those 4 in the back of the pen and then using either Sheehan or Kershaw as the 4th starter. But again, I think how the Dodgers handle that bullpen in the playoffs is going to be a huge storyline.
Well, it always is. It always is. How quick is Dave Roberts hook? It might be longer than we're used to. Let's go to another team that you're very, very special meaning in your heart, Jim. The Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds. Last time they won a playoff series, you were the GM. 1995, only 30 years ago. So you look better now than you did 30 years ago, I have to admit. But
Thank you.
Here's the thing. Do they want to win the wild card? I mean, I know they do, but it's like watching these games. It is pulling teeth. You're like, oh, just get a hit, please. Get the guy over. Make a play. It is so hard / fun to watch. I don't know. Their pitching's great. Their offense is not good. Their bullpen's been good until it's not good. It is like the most fun, horrible watch of all time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, the National League has 5 really good teams, and there is not a 6th team that should make the playoffs, right? Mets, Diamondbacks, and Reds have none of those 3 teams we should be talking about. But because we have the expanded playoffs, we get to talk about one of them are going to get in. When I look at the Reds, I look at their lineup, and I just say you don't have enough offense to be a postseason team. I watched these guys swing out of the strike zone. Matt McClain drove me crazy last night. I just can't stand how much they swing out of the zone. I can't stand how much they'll try to pull a slider away. I can't stand how they'll swing at the first pitch when they got 2 men on and 1 out, and they'll swing at the first pitch and pop it up. I think Terry Francona has done an amazing job with this team. I think the fact that they literally have a chance of getting in the playoffs has as much to do with Terry Francona as it does the great young starters that they have. I think it's going to be a fun weekend to watch them. This lineup is not good enough to get there, but you know what? The Mets rotation isn't good enough to get there. Arizona shouldn't be there the way their team is since they traded 3 of their best players at the deadline. So, I look at the Reds and, they've got a shot. We'll wait last night against the Pirates and lost all my fingernails watching the game, but it frustrated me. I did. Because I can't tell you how many games the Reds have lost this year by swinging at bad pitches or not turning the double play or not throwing to the right base. They just always seem to do something out of the ordinary to lose, and it drives me absolutely nuts. So I think it's going to be fun to watch these three teams down the stretch, but it doesn't matter who ends up winning that last spot. They'll lose it in 2 games, and it'll be over.
All right, well, let's just insert same conversation with the Mets. Can you break down where it went wrong for them? I get it. They can still make the playoffs. They're in control of their own destiny. But where did it go wrong on what date? Was it December or was it in the middle of May?
Yeah, middle of May, I guess. I mean, look, I thought in March, I questioned if the Mets had enough starting pitching, and then kind of felt like, okay, well, there is Senga and Minaya and Peterson, and Holmes looks good being converted. Maybe, but no, it wasn't maybe. The answer was no. We're not going to see Kodai Senga again. He's in the minors. But, Minaya went to the bullpen, and he had to have a spot start. Frankie Montas Jr. is gone. He can have an operation. They don't have enough starting pitching. When Nolan McLean is not pitching, you just don't know if they're going to win. David Peterson's been up and down. Holmes has pitched well overall, but not as much in the second half as expected as a converted reliever. They don't have enough starting pitching. It's as simple as that. Look, I think the offense would be fine. I was surprised the defense has been as bad as it's been, which it really has been at the end of the day. But when you have Soto and Alonso and Lindor, Vientos, you're going to score enough runs. But the starting pitching, when McLean's not pitching, I just don't know how many runs they're going to give up. So, yeah, kind of like the Reds. I'm surprised they're still in this conversation.
JB, if we fast forward to the postseason, we pretty much know that the Cubs are going to host the Padres and the Dodgers are going to play a wild card series at home against this 6th spot that nobody wants. Which team do you think is the most dangerous threat to the Dodgers? And I'm going to just jump in with my thought. Maybe there's bias, but I actually think the Mets offense can keep up. There's been some good series for them this year against the Dodgers. Can they win 2 games with McLean starting game 1 in a series like that and then shrinking their relief pitching circle of trust? Diaz is probably going to go 2 innings a night. So do you think that they are the biggest threat?
That's a great question. I don't think they're a threat at all. Arizona, I don't think is a threat. The Reds aren't a threat. None of them are a threat. I think the Mets can win a game. I think they're the biggest threat to win a game. But, I mean, you're not going to beat the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers get through that first round easy, and then they've got the Phillies, who are the best team in the National League, and we'll see what happens.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, we got to go back to something you said, I don't know when it was, last week, last month. We asked you about Manager of the Year in the American League, and you know where I'm going with this. Is AJ Hinch still the Manager of the Year? Yes, even though they have blown the biggest lead in the history of baseball.
No, he gone. And by the way, AJ, you were right on 2 things. You were right on John Schneider being Manager of the Year and Cal Raleigh being – and you said it 2 months ago. You said Raleigh would hit 60 homers, and he was the MVP. And I told you whoever it was, nope, Aaron Judge is still ahead of Raleigh. Well, that's gone. Raleigh's the MVP of the league. He's going to win it. He should win it. 60 home runs? Are you frigging kidding me? So, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that both Schneider and Raleigh are going to win. And, yes, AJ, you were right. I was wrong. It hurts.
Oh, okay, wait. I think your audio cut out. We need to can we say that again, Jim, please? Because I think my earpiece went bad or something. But can the Tigers can the Tigers salvage whatever they have at this point? I've never seen a team do this ever. Like 15.5 game lead on a team, lose it, they're playing, and they can't field a bunt, they can't field a ground ball, they can't get a hit. It's like, what the heck happened to the team we saw for 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, AJ, first of all, you're right. You've never seen it before, but nobody has. Nobody has ever seen a team that were 10 games ahead on September 6th and then lose the division. It's never happened before in baseball history. And you look at the Tigers, they were one of those teams, right? They lost Jackson Jobe and Reese Olson early, right? Those were injuries. But then they had a bizarre trade deadline, right? Instead of adding an impact piece that you thought they would, because they were in first place, they had a big lead, they had a really good team. They just needed big guys. Instead, they did the quantity over quality philosophy, right? If you remember, they added 5 pitchers. And they were all like mediocre pitchers. And we all just kind of scratched our head. They added 2 starting pitchers, right? They added Charlie Morton, who we all know was done. By the way, they've already designated him for assignment. He's gone. He's now a Brave. They traded for Chris Paddock, who anyone that watched him with the Twins knew that he wouldn't be an answer. And then, 3 other relievers they picked up. And so they changed 5 of their, 12 pitchers. Like, what? What are you, 13 pitchers? So, what are you doing here? And that's not just the answer. Obviously, it started to snowball, and then it just got completely out of control. And then, of course, I think the end of it was Skubal, unfortunately, throwing the ball between his legs and then hitting Fry in the face, and then the balk, and then he unraveled your ace because that was your shot. You win that game, you're in a position, you got a shot. They lost that game, and that was the season. So this will go down as one of the biggest collapses in baseball history, unfortunately.
Wow. Yet, they're still going to make the playoffs. But yes, the division collapse is crazy for Detroit. The Astros giving them a soft landing spot here to at least still make it to October, most likely. Okay, one more baseball and then one non-baseball question for you. I'll handle the baseball one. Hey, you were a former general manager of the Nationals. What do you think of them grabbing Paul Taboni from the Red Sox, who was a rising star, who I'm sure they're pissed that they lose out on, and trying to have him build the next great franchise in Washington, D.C.?
This was a phenomenal decision and signing. And I will argue this could be the best hire that the Lerners have made since they own the team. And I say that because I love the resume of where he came from and how he got here, right? He played at Cal Berkeley, so he's played the game. He got an MBA at Notre Dame. He's really smart. And then what he did is he became an area scout, and he grinded it. That is one of the worst jobs possible. But it's also the job where you really learn how to evaluate talent. This is when you get in the woods, you get humbled, you don't make any money, and you love the game so much and you learn it. Then he became so good, he became assistant director of amateur scouting. Then he got promoted to director of amateur scouting, where he drafted Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Early, Campbell, Kyle Teal, all of those guys under his administration. Then he became vice president of scouting and player development and really understood the importance of those two departments marrying each other. Then he got involved with the analytics. This is a really bright, smart guy that has earned this position. To me, it is the perfect blueprint GM. This is the track I would recommend for everybody, without a doubt, and he has done it. And he's got personality. He's got how he works with the ownership group there is going to really decide how successful he can be. It'll be interesting to see how much power he has in making all of the decisions. But I will say this is a phenomenal hire for the Washington Nationals.
Okay. I was going to say, the Lerners didn't hire you. That's why you're saying it's their best hire of all time. But I just had to make sure.
I'm telling you, this guy's track record special, AJ. I mean
Okay.
that. He's got great evaluation skills. That's the most important quality you have to have. Plus, he has the people skills. This is a bright guy with a good baseball background.
Okay, is your son? This is what I want to know. USC has played nobody this year. Illinois, they're questionable. They're about to get into the meat of their schedule now with USC. And people that don't know, Jim's son is the GM of the USC Trojan football team. But what I want to know is, will he disown you as a father after saying he went to Cal Berkeley and then he went to Notre Dame, so he's really smart? So is your son going to call you and say, whoa, those are some of our rivals. Dad, let's take it easy on people who are trying to out-recruit and beat on the football field here?
No, because he's gonna say, guess where I was a GM first? Notre Dame. And that background was huge for him to be here. And for this USC team, yes, they haven't played yet. I agree with that. But understand, this offense is probably the best in the country. And Lincoln Riley is one of the best offensive minds there are, period. They have 2 first-round wide receivers led by Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane. They've got 2 unbelievable NFL running backs. They've got a quarterback trophy conversation. The problem with USC is going to be the secondary. And are they going to be able to stop other teams from scoring? When they have to play the best teams, which are all, they've got ranked teams coming up the next three games, that's going to determine how good they are, and we're going to find out. But it's going to come down to the secondary. It won't come down to the offense because they're going to be able to score on anybody.
And hey, good teams beat bad teams. That's part of the deal. They're doing it.
Good teams win, great teams cover. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
JB, good stuff. Great hit. We'll catch you soon,
All right.
okay?
Yeah. Scott, AJ, Eric, thanks, guys.
You're the man. Thank you. And great sweatshirt. FoulTerritoryShop.com. That's Jim Bowden. Be right back. Hey, see this quote from John Schneider? He was bringing it post-game. A lot of the beat writers were like, this is a different John Schneider after this game. Because he's like, quote, it feels like the sky's falling right now, and it's fucking not. We've got 90 wins. We're in the playoffs. And if the season ends today, we're winning the AL East. I want them to come in and not press. I want them to play confident. He was also saying that his players are totally wrong for freaking out about the umps. They're getting way too caught up in that. He was very vocal about that, too.
It sounds like a guy that's a little nervous about not winning the division, but he wants to show everybody that he isn't nervous, even though deep down we all know that he is. I mean, Kratz isn't better than anybody, but to me, this comes across as if he hasn't been like this the whole year and now all of a sudden we're getting shots fired, you're like, whoa, wait a second.
But can I make the case that I think the players, they're looking like they're freaking out at the umps, about like they look very animated. Like, just play your game. You guys are good.
They are good.
And even if you're having a rough week, Kratz, and the Red Sox are beating you in a couple games, like the Red Sox are a playoff team. You'll be fine.
It was very telling when George got caught mouthing, they just need to give the division to the Yankees. Like, that's not what they should be thinking about. That shouldn't come out in the game because you shouldn't be thinking about that. Like, it was a candid moment. I'm glad we got the lip reading done by John Boy, but I would say the players are freaking out. Schneid's has some tirades. I think he goes on some tangents. So maybe this is the first time, I don't know, but the team is panicking. But at least they have like some kind of feeling. You watch the Tigers and they're just like, somebody's got to hit the on button. So at least if you're feeling something, at least it's, you don't want to panic, but they are.
They need Vlad to go, man. Vlad
He got booted yesterday.
Did you see Vlad last night? He didn't draw a line, but he did draw a line. I don't know. He got ejected. They need him to go.
Was that a fair ejection?
I don't know what was said.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what he said. They didn't really show what he said. But anytime you take your bat and you kind of do the tappy tap liney line, you're going to get heat.
I think that's soft.
No.
For the ump.
You can't touch the dirt. At first, he looked at the dirt, and then he touched it. You can't shut. I mean, that's like saying you missed it.
Okay, but the ump can just be like, hey, Vladdy, sorry, I think you're wrong. I got the call right. Now go back to the dugout, and we're good. Vladdy didn't like go up in his face and say screw you.
He showed him up. Umpires look at it like they showed him up.
They're so soft.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Vlad's going off tonight.
You can't even talk.
He rakes against
I
Bayo.
didn't play, I didn't ump, but if someone said you're wrong, I'd say, I think I'm right, go back to the dugout. If he's screaming and spitting in his face, it's different. Vlad's just like, oh, that's just my take. I thought it was soft. I want to see this bar freaking play in the game.
The Tigers have a 14-game lead. 14 games! They're in the playoffs. That's it. You can put them in the playoffs.
Where are you at on the Guardians?
They're 4 games out of a wild card behind 5 teams. They're 12 and a half behind the Tigers. They're not catching the Tigers this year.
Cleveland didn't add. They're good. I don't think they're great. Tigers are really solid. Could it get close? Maybe, but I don't see it.
Do we think one of these other teams can jump a 10-game winning streak even though they haven't done it all year?
Guardians, that's a little bit of a stretch.
AL Central.
AL Central is done.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. That's what we said. Some of those clips are really old because I know where those backdrops are from. Some of those clips are from July.
Or before.
June?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Here's the deal. This is an all-time historic collapse and you know what? There's a part of us that's still right because I said the Tigers were going to be in the playoffs, but I didn't say they were going to win the AL Central in that clip. The Tigers are still in the playoffs, but they're not maybe going to win the AL Central.
Tigers are should get in because the Astros can't win anymore.
Also, but the fact that the Guardians control their own destiny, if the Guardians win today, it's over because they're basically 3 up with 3 to play.
Correct.
I've never. I mean, they've won what? They won 17-2 their last 19 games.
Something like that.
Nobody had this coming.
Tigers have lost 8 in a row.
Not even people in the Guardians front office had this coming.
No.
Not even Stephen Vogt had this. This might come.
I do point to that one interview I listened to. I think it was Santinetti. He's like, "We're going to be a second half team. I'm telling you." Even though then they traded away people.
I mean,
he has to say that.
I mean, the guys in Oakland say that every year too. Or Sacramento, we're a second half team. We win 20 games in the first half. We win 58 in the second half.
He means second half of the decade when they're in Vegas.
Oh,
that's what he means when he says that. But
I don't know. Anyways,
Kratz, what did you say? We didn't hear you as much.
Because I'm not wrong. I mean, I wasn't wrong. Frankie would have put me in there. So I'm just gonna let you guys dig out of the hole that you put in. That you put my past organization, the Cleveland Guardians. How can you guys forget about these guys? They fight, they claw. My friend Stephen Vogt. How could you guys do this to them? Never forget.
That offense, man.
That offense makes me forget a lot of things. I mean, if Skubal didn't try and snap the ball between his legs, he's an unbelievably good pitcher. He's going to win the Cy Young again, but I don't know what. There's only one guy, Mark Burley, that can do that. Okay, so let's not ever try that again.
That was a weird inning. As
I said,
yeah.
I mean, last night, and the thing about the Guardians is their starting pitchers just keep going 6 or 7 innings, under 2 or less, 2 or less, 6 or 7, 2 or less, 2 or less. And then when they get to Gaddis and Zaborski and Cade Smith and everybody else they bring in from the back end, no one scores on them.
No, it's nasty.
It's good stuff, man. It's good. It's fun to watch. It's crazy to watch, but I can't believe that we're where we're at. I just can't believe where we're at.
Jose Ramirez is so freaking good. He came through again last night.
Their defense is so good.
Their defense is good. And Steven Kwan is so valuable in these moments. That's my thing. I get it. Like, I'm obsessed with players that make contact, but Steven Kwan's on another planet from Arise even because he's an all-around player. And I just remember him from the postseason last year. It's like, looking for a knock. Kwan's going to make contact, little bloop here. And he's doing it again. He did it yesterday.
What's the guy, Vargas, that hit the home run?
George Valera, the rookie.
Valera.
Yeah.
It was his 8th big league hit or 9th big league hit.
All right, so let's do this. Well, let's do this. Slade Cecconi, also very young member of that Cleveland pitching staff. Traded in the offseason. Great pickup. Joining us next. He's ready to go on FT. We have the tweet from Dan Clark about 4 players with 50-plus home run seasons. First time since 2001, 4 players have hit 50-plus in the same season. Back in 2001, it was Bonds, Sosa, Gonzalez, and Rodriguez. Now we got Raleigh, Schwarber, Ohtani, and Judge. Superstars. You know what the crazy thing is, too? I looked at some home run leaders for teams. Like the Reds home run leader, I think, is Ellie with like 21. There's like 5-6 teams that have guys who have like 20 homers-ish.
White Sox.
And they're leading their team. White Sox.
Pirates don't have anybody with a lot?
No. They were all on that list. I was looking, I'm like, damn. It's not like you look across the board and it's like, oh, power's up, balls juiced.
Tampa has Caminero with 40-something. But the Orioles, who leads the Orioles in homers? Gunner?
Maybe I gotta look. Yeah, it's in the 20s. Also, home run derby.
Blue Jays. Look at the Blue Jays. They don't have a lot of homers.
No. That's true. Also, people were saying, hey, home run derby. How's the home run derby swing for Cal Raleigh and Junior Caminero? Can we stop with that crap narrative?
Just so people have the narrative they want to hear.
Yeah. Fun season for power, Kratz.
Cardinals have no power. Someone said in the chat.
Yep. That's a good point. It's a good point.
Need it. I love those names that are on that tweet, though. The 4 that were on the tweet. Put them up against Judge, Ohtani, Schwarber, and Cal. Just saying. Clean.
Yeah, different times.
Everybody loves
it's a
homers.
Clean 50+. Yeah, everyone loves homers, but
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I ain't accusing anybody of nothing, but let's stop with that.
what?
Please. What you just both just said. Let's just stop. Not saying anybody's doing anything. I don't want anyone to think that, but the clean, not clean, let's stop.
Okay, can we agree it was the steroid era?
It was the steroid era.
Okay,
I'm not arguing that.
Okay. So that's it. Let's go there at least.
But, I mean, the guys on that list, there was no testing back then, so how do we know? You can't just say that. Because there's people in the Hall of Fame that did it.
No doubt. I know some of the names.
So let's stop, because I think that's where
we're not blanket statementing.
That's where I think the line gets drawn, and the point where you're like, you can't say that because you don't know.
Unclean time period. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's guys still getting popped today. So that's why you just. I don't like that.
Okay. Guardian starter Slade Cecconi joining us right now.
Show?
Yes, we're the Guardian show because when you do what you do, we give them a lot of credit. We have Midwest bias. Slade, great to have you on the show, man. How fun is this?
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
As you'd expect right now, pretty freaking good.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Like, take me back first. Whatever time period you want. There had to be some time period where you're just hanging out with the guys and you're like, man, I wish things went differently this year. There had to be a time, a conversation, something where you're looking up and you're like, yeah, we're not. The division is a stretch here, but we've got some good players. Next year's going to be great.
You know something crazy? Within our clubhouse, I don't think we ever had that conversation. I don't think we ever had that conversation in here.
Not once? Nothing?
Not once. No, I mean, we knew we had to pick it up at times, but there was never a point in time where we were just like, it's not our year, you know? Even when we lost those 10 games, we had a meeting as a team, just players only, and we were like, I remember, a quote from that meeting. It was like, this is the story we're going to tell when we make it. It's like the meeting that we had today after we lost 10 in a row. We're going to tell this story when we make it. Like it was always like this adversity is going to be where we go back and say, hey, man, look at what we overcame. Look at how resilient we were. And now we're here in a very good opportunity.
Who led that meeting? Who was the one do you remember who said that quote, or was it something afterwards that you guys said?
Austin Hedges.
And did he have his shirt off when he did it? Because that is a sight to be seen when he does that.
It's one of my favorite sights every day, honestly. But I don't think he had his shirt off for that quote.
So did you guys believe it as a starting rotation? Because last year we watched the Mets do what they did. They got in that starting rotation. These guys were like all together on the bench. They were writing each other's names on their faces. You guys as a rotation have essentially carried this team with the unprecedented historic streak that you guys have done, whatever it is, 5 innings of 2 or less runs for like a million years.
Yeah, I mean, we are a really close-knit group. I think that's one of the perks of all of us being kind of in the same, service time, age range area. We all kind of bond together really well. Nobody has an ego. Everybody's just, playing for the guy next to them. Nobody's worried about their freaking stats or their strikeouts or this or that. They're going out there to execute pitches and, play the game the way it's meant to be played.
Hey, Slade, are you the guy that started this run for the starting? Because was it you that went out first? Was it Big Rig that went out? Because it's like that start where you almost had the no-hitter that kind of propelled you guys to where you are, right? So you kind of started this run. And what's the competition like amongst, you guys as starting pitchers to continue this streak you guys are on?
I think it's really cool when you have a group of guys that are so competitive with themselves that we're excited for each other when we go out there, but I think everybody's really just competing against themselves to be the best version of themselves every day. And we're not worried about the other team. We're not worried about, who's going to get what opportunity when. I mean, you look at a guy like Logan Allen. He had his start skipped and then went out there and went 8 shutty. Nobody cares right now. It's just when your name is called, you do your job, and that's what's getting us to where we're going.
Carl Willis, what does he mean to you as a new starting pitcher in this organization, to the rest of the starting pitchers? Because he's been there. I mean, shoot, when I was with the Guardians, he was there. He's been there forever.
Yeah, Carl is a legend in this game, and Carl's incredible, but we also have just a whole staff of people around us, top to bottom, that excel in different areas of their own expertise. And there's not like one voice that's end all be all, or a cookie cutter method for this or that. It's a super unified approach among that entire staff, being led by one of the best pitching coaches in this game.
Slade, has Carl taught you any of his old tricks from when he used to pitch? Because if you've seen Major League, he's like, has he taught you like where to hide the stuff that you need to make the ball not go straight? Because if you know anything about Carl Willis, when I came up with the Twins and he pitched for the Twins for a long time, there was a lot of stories about him having a little bit of, not base. Yeah, a little bit, whatever, Vagisil, Bard, whatever, little jalapenos in the middle, whatever it was. Listen, I love Carl Willis. He's one of my favorite guys in the world to talk to. But, he was known as, back when guys used to do that. No, not saying like with the scuffing and all that, but, they put a little stuff to make the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
A little sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen, rosin, whatever it took. But listen, Carl Willis is one of the best in the game at it. So I'm glad that we cleared that up, that he has not taught you all that. So let's just make sure that, and nor did he ever do that, okay?
Definitely hasn't taught us any secrets. There's no special hiding spots. No umpires don't look anywhere else.
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Clear.
Okay.
You're
Perfect.
clear. Hey, I want to ask you about Jose Ramirez and the impact that he makes. I know it's first year for you with this team. Give us something that we don't know about Jose. We hear a ton about him, obviously, in Cleveland. He's pretty quiet media-wise, so we're always trying to get more.
Yeah, I think – you may know this just by watching him play the game. I think he's one of the smartest baseball minds that we've ever seen in this game. It's incredible to watch him play the game. I go back to an at-bat in Houston. I was on the bench, and he was next to me. And he was going through the last 2 at-bats and watching what the pitcher had before his 3rd at-bat working that day. And he told me, he's like, mira. And as soon as he starts talking to me in Spanish, I'm like, okay, this guy's about to say something pretty cool. And he told me, he was like, he showed me his 2 at-bats before, and it was almost like a professor, man. He was like, he's going to throw me this pitch in this spot, and I'm going to hit a home run on it, because of what he had seen in the other 2 at-bats. And sure enough, man, he tried to go slider, and he left the yard. And it was like he literally just looked at 2 at-bats, looked at what the pitcher had that day, knew what he was going to throw him, and knew where he was trying to hit it, and then did it. It's like he's playing such a different game than everybody else out there right now, and that's why he's so consistent. It's with the stolen bases, like 40 bags, like he knows when to go. He knows when pitchers stop paying attention to him. He knows how to take an extra base. He knows how to, leverage certain skills that he has that nobody else in the game has, and it's so incredible to watch.
Who was the at-bat against?
I don't remember. It was a left-handed pitcher, starter for Houston. I think it was the 3rd game of that series. I don't. You could pull up the at-bat if you find it. I believe it was a homer on a slider that he went pull side on.
Schwarvber?
No, it was not Fromber. It was also a guy, I believe, that had a super low walk rate, which is another thing he said. He's like, he's not gonna throw balls.
Colton Gordon.
It might have been. I'm terrible with names across the board. So if you ever ask me a name and I don't know it, please don't take it personal. That was
going to be my question. You guys got so many new guys on your offense. Do you know everybody's name on the offense?
I do know everybody in our locker room's name. Everybody's name's up here.
Okay, that's good. I put you in a bad spot if you're like, "Hey buddy" or "Hey Poppy," and you
Hey,
said
pal.
Jose was speaking Spanish to you. Are you fluent?
I'm not fluent, but yo puedo hablar un poquito. I can speak enough to like have a conversation with him in Spanglish, and it's like he fills in English where I need him to, and I'll fill in Spanish where he needs me to, and we can have a good conversation that way.
Does that make you a better player? Does that make your team a better team when you can do that and you can make those connections with guys?
Absolutely. I mean, part of the reason why I invested a little bit more into trying to learn Spanish. I have a nice, I think, 163-day Duolingo streak going. Not to brag, but when I got here, I saw him, communicating with all of our Latin players in Spanish, and I was like, man, that's pretty special, especially as a catcher, And I wanted to, commit to, learning as much. I could speak a little bit. I took it in high school. I took it in college. I lost it a little bit, but I was able to speak enough to where I can, show the effort. And, these guys are, coming across the border, playing our game in our territory, speaking our language. It's nice to, show them the respect of putting in the effort to speak their language as well.
Agreed. That's why I don't speak Spanish at all. No, I'm just kidding. I speak it enough to get by.
And he went to the U. I mean, I went there.
If you go to U, you have to speak Spanish. Let's be honest. Let's make that clear.
That's my Miami bro. I'm way older than you.
We're gonna get there.
Let's go there now. No?
Okay. Because here's the problem. Whatever. Let's go there. First of all, I'll talk about an oxymoron. You went to a high school called Trinity Prep, which is like the super smart nerdy school in Orlando, right? That no athletes have ever come out of except for you. And then you go to Miami where you don't even have to read or write. And then you went to there, and now you're in the big leagues. So how did you end up at Trinity Prep? Because anybody that's any good in Oviedo goes to Haggerty or Riley Green and Zach Eflin and Mountcastle and all these guys. So something went wrong in your wiring to end up at – by the way, my kids went to First Academy. So we used to dominate Trinity Prep class all the time.
We didn't do well against them.
We're in Orlando now. That's our main studio.
I'm from Orlando. So yes, I know all about Orlando. But so how do you end up at Trinity Prep where it was all like the super preppy, nerdy, smart kids, and in Miami where, again, you don't have to read, write. If you can just go like this, then you can get in.
So actually, I mean, I was the super nerdy, preppy kid until I hit puberty, which was a beautiful thing, for me. And but I originally went to college. I went pre-med. I was looking to be a doctor, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something with medicine. And it just kind of got to a point where I was getting better at baseball to the point where I was like, hey, man, I'm going to end up doing this for a living. I'm going to, still focus on school, but make baseball priority one. And I was in the honors college at Miami. I had to maintain a pretty good GPA and was able to actually receive the Presidential Honor Scholarship for academics there as well. So I don't like to toot my own horn too much about that side, but when it comes up, I'll put it out there. I was the preppy kid until I got this God-given height and size.
Three flexes in one.
It's impressive.
3 flexes in one interview. Wow, I hit puberty and now I look awesome. I got good grades and 162 days on Duolingo. I mean, what else do you want to strut about? Because we
forgot about pre-med. We forgot pre-med. Pre-med.
Yeah.
Pre-med.
That's fair.
Allegedly, I had good tutors.
He can put a Band-Aid on, so he's pre-med at Miami. Look, you can put a Band-Aid on. Okay,
that's because we're
Scott?
tough. We're tough in Miami. Oh, you broke your arm, Band-Aid.
So is this part of where your personality comes from when you're on the mound? You're strutting around after a strikeout. Does it come from confidence? Does it come from just you being you? Like that smile right there? That smile makes me want to hit a dinger off you. But watching you, it also makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, man, I think, there's never been a scripted, strut that I've done. It's all, from that entering into that, you guys played long enough to know that, flow state where you get in where you're kind of just unconsciously doing what you're doing and playing the game at the highest level you can because your body and your instincts are taking over. So those things out there that you see, man, I'd love to say that I do them on purpose, but they really just happen, and they do come from a place of confidence in myself and the preparation that I put into this game.
I love it.
The Ace Ventura thing was nice.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean,
that was pitching
Miami.
ninja. Yeah,
Funny. That was funny.
that's pitching ninja. That's Rob.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that's what he went to. From Miami, went to Miami.
Rob's next level like that. He probably
you know
knew.
Ray Finkel? Slade, do you know who Ray Finkel is?
Another name, man. I'm terrible with names.
See?
I don't know who that is.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Is Finkel.
And
Ace is
Einhorn
out.
is Finkel.
Come on, you guys. Jeez.
Is that
You're
Ace,
gonna
Ace
dig in your
Ventura?
Seen Ace Ventura?
I
Have you
did.
ever seen Ace Ventura?
I saw it when I was like 7.
Oh my gosh.
That came out in like the early 90s. No,
So
I haven't seen it since.
Slade, have you ever seen Ace Ventura?
Not in recent enough time to really remember any of it, but I mean, like I know exactly what movie and the clips come from. I mean, it came out well before I was born. So
Yeah, 1994. He was born in 99.
Snowflake the Dolphin. Come on.
Yeah. Well, he can
Wait.
rewatch it in the off season. Right now, he's busy. Kratz, last question.
Yeah, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say you keep being you, and don't let AJ make fun of you about college, because all he knows about college is what other people tell him.
No, and
Is
I know
that-
that my money goes to college too. So I mean, I know that. One of my
You
kids,
do
at least.
you do pay a lot of money to college, yes.
Well, no, one of my kids makes money in college. The other kid does not. So I have to. One of them is loved more. The other one is the other one.
I would take 19 years and no college any day of the week. So that plays.
Hey,
Sure.
that's
Dr.
good.
Phillips. Plus, I went to Dr. Phillips at Harvard of the South. So I mean, it's tough to beat. I also was pre-med at Dr. Phillips.
Did you live in Windermere before
Nope.
it was Windermere?
Nope.
Where'd you live?
Nope. I lived right by Universal. Right. I actually lived in Conway growing up, and then I moved over kind of by Universal, kind of close to where Dr. Phillips is.
Yeah, I lived
in Windermere
literally-
after I moved to big leagues. I lived in Windermere
literally
after.
2 streets off of Haggerty. So if I would have been zoned, that's where I would have been zoned to go. So it would have been cool to play with a guy like Riley Green and Vaughn Grissom on that high school team. That would have been a pretty
Would've been
OP.
nasty.
You guys might have actually won the state one time, but they haven't. So it's. But TFA has got 2.
Everything's
Do they?
working out.
Yep. My kid has 2.
Yep.
Good for
Well,
him.
it's working out for
we didn't-
Slade and Riley. Yeah.
Although
Slade,
they did have, sorry, I know we got to go, but Trinity had, have you heard of the Aiden Stoneman kid? He's pretty good. He was a lefty pitcher this year. But
Yeah, he went in the second round and didn't sign. Is that correct?
yeah, he was 95. He's
where's he
pretty
going?
good. He was going to Virginia. I think he's going to Miss
Something SEC where he's getting a
Well,
million
no, he was
bucks.
going to Virginia, but then the coach left and went to, I don't know if he's at Mississippi State or
Going to
I don't
Vandy?
know. He might be, yeah. He's pretty good, though.
I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but I thought it was Vandy. But yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's a fantastic prospect.
Yeah, he was.
Well, Slade, we'll talk again in the offseason. We can talk all about Orlando and his pre-med
You
Dr.
come over.
Phillips. Everybody's
Come over,
pre-med
right
because
here.
the
Sit right
school's called Dr. Phillips. We're here, though, every day. Great having you on, man. This was awesome.
Absolutely. If you get a scrape and need a Band-Aid, let me know.
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Pre-med. Dr. Slade Cecconi, everyone. Thanks, Slade.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
BetMGM free game of the day, Red Sox and Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern time. There could be a little beef. Blue Jays were getting a little testy with the Sox too. It's one thing to bark at a player, and by the way, BetMGM customer logged in, funded account, the whole deal, then you get to watch the game for free in the app. Barrios was barking at the players one thing because they're allowed to steal signs. The Red Sox base coaches, they're not even close to the box a lot of the time. They were both not in the box. So I don't know how it works and if that's a thing. I didn't play, but if you're on the other team, do you say, hey, if we have to stand in the coach box, don't you?
Yeah.
Why are they allowed
I've
to
fought-
stand
I've seen
outside
that
of it?
fight happen before.
It doesn't work?
I mean, it does sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay. Well, we'll
Not going to
see.
keep him in the box.
No.
You can't. Nope. You can't put Scott in a box.
I would have listened. Anyway, all right, let's ring around here. What do you got, Kratz?
I'm going with a kind of an odd parlay, going money line for the Yankees. I feel like they're going to close it out tonight. I thought about run line, little steep, 2.5, so I didn't go with it. But I also went with the Dodgers first 5. Yamamoto versus the Diamondbacks are starting Jalen Beeks, and Yamamoto has been filthy. He may only go 4 or 5. I don't know if it's a pitch count that he's going or number of up and downs, but I'm going to go Yamamoto. Their starters have been essentially not giving up anything. So that's coming out to plus 110.
And you?
I'm going Yankees to win because they're still playing for some. They're playing, and Rodon's pitching against the White Sox. And I'm going Astros to win because Schwarvber and them need to win a game. They got to win a game in Sacramento to have any chance. And I'm putting down 2,000 at plus 150.
What?
That's my last bet of the year. What?
Oh, yeah. Last bet. You're either up big or down big.
Yep.
That's it.
Because we reset.
Scared
We
money
reset
and
in
make
playoffs.
money.
Yeah.
So
You
when
didn't
I'm
need
up
to go
three-
that big, but
Huh?
you're going to because you're down 637. Not
Yeah,
like
and
you're
I'm
down
gonna be up
2 grand.
2,400 after today.
Wow. Okay. Pap's up 387. I'm up 121. Yeah. Yesterday, I got the no sweat bet, Mets and Cubs. I'm going there. There you go. Okay, I'll do mine at the next break. BetMGM players get an any sport parlay boost token to use. You add a parlay wager made up entirely of any sport parlay wagers to your bet slip. Activate the token. If you win that wager with the token, you get extra winnings. That's how a boost token works. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. More picks when we swing back for our next BetMGM segment. In the Weeds is powered by Arena Club. Best app, cards, buy, sell, trade, opening up packs. It'll never be the same. It'll change your world. Trust me. Code is foul. All right, so let's talk about the Athletics rankings of pitching staffs in the postseason. They took into account that depth at the back end of that staff doesn't necessarily matter. Let's look at what matters, right? The top few starters, the top 3-4 relievers. Some teams have some depth that'll be used. Others will do this very small circle of trust. So I'll lay out what they put rankings-wise, and then you guys tell me where you think they got it right or wrong. They've got the Dodgers, Phillies, and Mariners in the top 3 in that order. Then the Brewers, Padres, and Astros 4, 5, 6. Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs 7, 8, 9. Guardians 10. That's their top 10.
Dodgers won with their bullpen?
That's what they say.
Wow.
So Yamamoto, Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow. Vesey has been good,
It wasn't good last night.
but generally, I think he's trusted.
But they've also, the Diamondbacks have seen him a bunch of times. That's probably
Right. My thing with the Dodgers, I do think that the freak out has been high. Is it last year's bullpen, Kratz? No, but I do think that they're going to be able to mix and match. That version of Roki plays. I think Robleski is going to be counted on. I think there's enough there. Sheehan's going to log big innings for this team. Kershaw looked pretty damn good yesterday. I think there's enough there. But do you think that they're the number one pitching staff based on what they have with Yamamoto, Snell, Ohtani, and Glasnow?
Man, I have a tough time. Not putting the Mariners where they're going right now. I have a tough time not putting their staff, their entire 13 pitchers, ahead of the Dodgers a little bit. If you're just going rotation, Dodgers, 100%. I think the Dodgers bullpen struggles have been glaring, and the struggles have been lower strikeouts and walks, like the 2 worst things you could possibly do. So I feel like I have the Mariners ahead of them.
Yeah, Gilbert, Kirby. Do we get any updates on Wu yet?
No.
No? Okay. Castillo looked really good, but it was the Rockies.
Come on.
I know.
I mean, how do you not throw the Guardians higher than 10?
That's low. That's why I was asking you guys. Pick at stuff.
See, the Astros shouldn't be up there. I think the Yankees are more set up for the playoffs than now. I got to look at the list myself. Than the Astros, the Red Sox, like they should be higher. And the Guardians recently, you're right. The Guardians are them again, except now they have a starting rotation. Like how much, same thing we asked Shildt earlier. How much is Vogt going to be able to lean on those starters? Is he going to say, nope, I'm going to Heron. I'm going to Gaddis. I'm going to Cade Smith. Like as soon as there's any kind of hint of anything with a rotation that you don't trust, they go right to it. And to me, I think that's where managers make their money. But I think the Yankees, I get it. The regression from their bullpen, I get it. Devin Williams isn't the guy they traded for. But their worst is a ton of strikeouts with a ton of walks. So that, to me, is, yes, they've struggled, but I don't think they're worse than the Astros. The Astros are struggle bus right now, up and down. They're hoping that Framber Valdez picks them up tonight.
Yeah, the Astros should be way lower.
So that's why it also doesn't make any sense.
Right, but this was done several days ago. Yeah, this was put together maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and then they put out the rankings list. So, yes, I agree. The Astros would get moved down. We're good with the Padres there based on the bullpen in the 5 spot. I would consider putting them above the Brewers. The Brewers have a lot of question marks with who's coming back bullpen-wise. Mm-hmm. Is McGill going to be okay? Coming back because he had the little setback. He should be back. There's others working their way back, right? Logan Henderson. What are they doing with the Miz?
But all these dudes,
like the starters are good, but like Priester, Chad Patrick, whatever, they're good, but I don't know. I think the Padres starters have just as much upside as those guys. Freddie P obviously leading the way, but I might flip-flop the Brewers and Padres.
I'd like to look at like the fielding independent stats of the Brewers staff, because those defenders absolutely pick it. And I think they raise the level of that pitching. And so that's where sometimes in the playoffs, we talk about the little things. I get it. But the best way to get somebody out is to strike them out. The best way to score a run is a home run. And I think those things really exemplify or multiply and like start showing up in the playoffs. So that's where I would agree with you. I think the Padres bullpen has an opportunity to just strike out the world and may push ahead of the Brewers. But an ace at the top is hard to fight against, and the Brewers have an ace in Peralta.
Pivetta is really good, but I get what you're saying. I got 2 more to bring up who can make a case for being higher. Maybe I'm off on this one, but out of the 15 teams that they still had in contention, they have the Blue Jays 14th. They said they have the highest ERA among these teams, and they're bottom 10 in barrel percentage, so they're getting hit hard, right? Again, let's keep in mind that when you're putting those percentages together, that's for the whole staff. You're going to shrink the staff a little bit. But do you believe in Bieber, Gausman, Scherzer, Bassett if he returns in time? Barrios probably out of the bullpen. You Savage. And then, I mean, Yariel Rodriguez, Brendan Little, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jeff Hoffman. Should they be higher?
Yeah, they should probably be higher than the Astros.
Shouldn't they be higher than the Tigers?
Cubs? What about the Cubs?
So let's play this game. They should be higher than probably 3-4 teams on here that they're below, no?
Yeah.
Blue Jays. Okay. Blue Jays or
Gausman,
Mets,
Bieber.
Tigers, Cubs. I think they're not getting enough love.
Mets?
That's what I'm saying. So the Blue Jays should be higher than the Mets, the Tigers, right? The Cubs, maybe.
The Tigers are going to say, "Oh, Scooble makes up for it all."
No, I'm sorry. One guy and this is for the whole postseason. Okay. Do you have enough pitching to get yourself through the tournament? I think the Blue Jays are being slighted a little bit too much here. Is it a strength of the team? Not necessarily.
Starters are.
Yeah.
Gausman, Bieber, Savage if he's a starter.
Right.
For the long haul, Barrios, Scherzer, Lauer. For the long haul, it is. Bassett.
Yeah. I mean, Barrios has had a tough year, but
I'm talking about for 162.
Yeah. I agree. I think I think they're being slighted a little bit. And then I've got one other team that I think is being slighted a bit. By far, the strength of the Reds is their pitching. They're ranked 11, and I've got them above a few teams here as well. I've watched a lot of Reds baseball lately. Their offense can't execute for crap, but they've got really good stuff. A lot of their guys, right? Greene, Abbott, Singer's okay, Lodolo, Nick Martinez, Ashcraft, Santillan, Pagan, Chase Burns, Littell. No? I'm not saying it's top 5, but I think they should be a little higher. They're ranked 11.
I mean, yeah, I'd say above the Cubs, but they're not above the Red Sox. I don't even think they're above the Astros. Their starting rotation is. Their starting rotation is cool. It's awesome. But maybe they reach the top 8. Maybe.
Okay. For me, it's above the Cubs and the Astros in terms of what's ahead of them.
That's fair.
Okay. Cool. Let us know thoughts. We told you about the rankings. And if you're looking to get a big boy card, Arena Club is the spot, including the slab packs. You're opening up all these common cards and then you're chucking them at your friends. Instead, Arena Club's like, you're going to get one big boy card. And in every slab pack, there's a grail that's worth at least 10x. Code FOUL, 20% off, first slab pack, or just if you're looking for a card, you go on the platform, make an offer, or you can buy it right off the spot if you find it and they're putting a price on it. Code FOUL, arenaclub.com/foul. Slap hands next. So here's yesterday's locks, by the way. And Houston let you down, man. Doesn't matter. The stakes are very high for you tonight. $2,000 bet tonight for AJ. There's money bags. I didn't get mine in from last time, so I'll do it now. AJ, this is close to unprecedented. It's the double hangover game. For me, for the Mariners. Double hangover game.
Mariners, even though they're playing the Rockies.
I actually think when I've looked back in the past few years at the hangover games that I like to pick on, often I'm losing that battle. So I'm flip-flopping based on the youngsters being younger in today's game, able to bounce back quicker. They have super low tolerance, right? These guys drink less. They probably have like 3 drinks and they're like, okay, I'm drunk. And then the next day, like they're not that hungover. I'm not even joking here. I think the Mariners rock the Rockies tonight. I do. So I'm going run line -105. It's an even money bet for the Mariners to win by 2 or more.
Cal's going to play.
So, exactly. Is Cal Raleigh playing?
They said they're playing their A lineup.
And Blaylock's got a 9. I'm tailing like a mug.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they're probably also looking at the pitching situation. Maybe they're going to sit some of those guys, right? They're not going to use the A relievers, and who's starting, I don't care. But Mariners, when I'm getting even money for a run line, yeah, exactly. And I'm getting even money for a run line with the Rockies.
Easy peasy.
You gotta go hard on that one, right?
Yep.
Okay. BetMGM players, get yourself in any. There you go. There's the locks. I already talked about the parlay boost token. I'm not going to do it again. There are your locks for tonight. Good luck to everyone. And we had we were looking at the National League pennant odds as well. And actually, Kratz brought up, there's your parlay boost token, by the way. Read the board. The MVP race in one day swung from almost even money to Cal Raleigh being what, Kratz?
-210. I locked it in when AJ told me he was going to win the MVP. I said, I'm not going to listen to anybody else but my friend AJ. So thanks, AJ.
And I also said he was going to hit 60, and you guys all laughed at me.
I didn't laugh.
No, I said I had that. Yeah. I had that as a lock, 60.
Our poll has 77% going to Cal winning.
The once-in-a-lifetime shot.
It should be higher. Let's slap. Kratz Hatz. Go.
Come on. I was still in college the last time they won the West. College.
I would have loved to know Kratz in college.
I was in the big leagues playing against that team, and 116 wins is a record. One of the craziest teams I've ever seen. At one point, we had like a 6-0 lead against them, and we're like, "Oh, we're gonna win." Next thing you know, it's 6-6, and we're hanging. We end up winning, but it was like hanging on for dear life because they just didn't stop. That lineup was sick. Edgar, Olerud, Boone, Dan Wilson was the catcher. Ichiro, Mike Cameron. It was a freaking sick. Ibanez was on that team.
Was it DS or CS where they lost?
CS to the Yankees.
And they're like, it's all right. We're going to be back every year. That's what every team always says. Winning window. We'll be back every year.
Couldn't find
It was the CS to the Yankees? Who'd they beat in the DS? Do you know?
Guardians, maybe? Indians?
White Sox?
No, the White Sox weren't in that year. The Indians won the division that year because I was in the Central. Red Sox, maybe?
I think Cleveland. I mean, they won the Central.
Cleveland, I know, won the Central because we lost Central.
Right. Guys asked me these questions right at the buzzer here. I think Cleveland.
Mariners beat them. Mariners beat Cleveland 3-2.
3-2.
The Mets are plus 155, so miss the playoffs. Lock it in today.
Yankees beat the A's.
Yankees beat the A's.